Knock, knock.
Who's there?
It's the police, ma'am. Your son's been hit by a drunk driver. He's dead.
Oh, no, you cannot joke about that.
Yeah, that's not funny, Arthur. That's not the kind of humor we do on this show.
Oh my god, I love it! Okay, wait, what made you want to ask him?
Huh? Why are you making it sound like we're a couple?
Oh my god, don't
This
share.
What?
Oh, he's
You're awful.
Me? I'm awful?
So you were afraid because you felt like I was saying you're gay.
I can take the mic if you want.
Yeah, I have plenty of material that's embarrassing for you.
You just wanted to make fun of me. You're just like the rest of them.
You don't know the first thing about me, pal. Look what happened because of what
I will say this, it is such a hard time in this world right now. There's so many people that came together to be supportive and fucking amazing, and you're putting negative, no, fucking look me in the eyes, you're putting negative fucking energy out here. This is the last show of my fucking, look me in the fucking eyes. It's the last, look at me. It's the last show of my fucking weekend. It's a sold out show, and you want to say mean shit to me. Okay.
No, I think we've had enough of your jokes.
What do you get
I don't think so.
when you cross
I think
a
we're
mentally
done
ill
with your
loner
joke.
with
That's
a
it.
society that abandons him and treats him like trash?
Call the police,
I'll
Gene.
tell you what you get.
Call the police.
You get what you fucking deserve.
Hello again. Essay here. Who is Natalie Cuomo? Now, some of you who are in the know, you probably not quite sure yourself. But everyone else who's ignorant, well, according to the computer, she's a 30-year-old Queens resident who is allegedly an up-and-coming comedian. Indeed, her IMDb page claims that she's appeared in a couple of short videos going back to 2016, like Her Magic Wand and Bridges and Power Lines, as well as another short film called Data Management. And she does have a presence on social media, namely Instagram and Facebook and, oh my God, TikTok. But regardless of that, Miss Cuomo, and before you even say it, no, I don't think she's related to the Cuomo brothers, which I'm definitely not going to get into that. Apparently, she was involved in an incident. And no, nothing criminal. No. Let's just say this. She was doing one of her comedy routines, and it didn't work out as planned. Now, I'm going to show you a snippet of video by our good old friend, Paul Joseph Watson. And took a little deep dive into the nitty gritty about what exactly was going on with Miss Natalie. Okay, are you ready? Here we go.
A very odd viral clip served up a complete disconnect between the official narrative being pushed and how most people actually reacted to it. During her stand-up show, comedian Natalie Cuomo insinuated that a couple of guys sitting together at her show were in a gay relationship.
Oh my god, I love it! Okay, wait, what made you want to ask him? Huh?
Why are you making it sound like we're a couple?
Oh my god, don't just
Then the guy responded with this.
share. What? Oh,
Oof, that was actually a good comeback. You can see she's a bit rattled.
Oh, it's not that it's not that wow, look at you.
He then hits her with another good one.
Yeah.
I could leave right now if
Well,
I
I can
wanted.
roast you too. You can't just roast all of us and get nothing.
Whoa!
But instead of what all good comedians do, come back with a better joke, Natalie chose to take a different approach. First bristling about his seemingly too close to the bone jibe about her having no material.
So you were afraid because you felt like I was saying you're gay.
I can take the mic if you want.
Yeah, I have plenty of material that's embarrassing for you.
Then insulting his manhood.
Let's move on. Small dick energy, let's clap for him.
And then having a complete meltdown.
I will say this, it is such a hard time in this world right now. There's so many people that came together to be supportive and fucking amazing, and you're putting negative, no, fucking look me in the eyes, you're putting negative fucking energy out here. This is the last show of my fucking, look me in the fucking eye. This is the last look at me. It's the last show of my fucking weekend. It's a sold out show, and you want to say mean shit to me, okay? So don't fucking do that.
Okay then. Literally half her act is crowd work, interacting with the audience. So it's not like he even interrupted her show. But this guy commits the gravest sin. He's slightly funnier than her, the comedian, and she completely loses her mind.
Look me in the fucking eye!
But despite her clearly coming off far worse in this interaction, the reaction of the crowd at the show, despite half the crowd probably being her friends and other comedians, helped frame the narrative that this was some kind of brave girl boss feminist victory.
Don't fucking do that!
Alright, simp, calm down. But she wasn't finished yet. The continued mere presence of the guy was too much for her to handle.
You can leave.
A comedian who can't take a joke. Interesting concept. She then took the friend of the guy who'd just been kicked out's phone and read the messages.
LOL, what a fucking clown. I did warn you I would get kicked out. Man, she is sensitive, especially for a comedian.
I mean, where's the lie? He really is living rent-free. After I said how grateful I was for everyone being there and selling out the show, this little man in the front row decided to let his true colours shine. Always stand up for yourself. And if you're going to be rude, at least have the decency to look me in the eyes. Sounds like more cope. Interesting how this went viral after Cuomo quote tweeted a clip originally posted by a far leftist on X. The original tweet had an insane amount of views and likes, but now after the narrative began to shift and people started pointing out the comedian came off far worse, the viral tweet has mysteriously been deleted. Probably because of responses like this. Let me speak to your manager, but it's crowd work. Heckler smoked her ass, I'm sorry. If somebody got you out in public looking like this at a comedy show, it's curtains. Very weird trend of young Zoomer women that they think talking in this scary voice is a good idea and not a way to be laughed at and discredited. Very unserious. She should have roasted him. She even said she could, but instead she went on to throw a fit. That's not comedy unless you want to laugh at her and not with her. If you're getting heckled on stage, you're supposed to respond with something witty and funny, not completely lose your shit. She was tanking and eager to dish it out as a distraction but couldn't take it. And instead of riffing off the heckling and being funny, she dissolved into emo rage and had him kicked out. Total L. You're a professional comedian, presumably this is your job. You should have figured out how to deal with hecklers by this point. Kicked the guy out of the club because her crowd work was shit.
You can leave.
But media coverage of the incident weighed heavily in Cuomo's favour. Savage moment, comedian loses it at heckler and screams in his face. We rarely get the opportunity to put people on blast in front of a big crowd, but Natalie Cuomo, 29, did just that, and rightfully so. This comedian dealt with a rude audience member in the most satisfying way. What, by having a childish temper tantrum that wasn't comically skilled in any way whatsoever?
I used to date these really old guys, and people would be like, do you have daddy issues? I'm like, I don't have daddy issues.
Really makes you think. But this viral video has reignited an age-old debate. Could it just be that women aren't funny?
If thinking that women are not funny, emotionally irrational, and less intelligent than men makes me sexist, then yes, I am sexist. Another meta joke.
Is it?
Sort of.
Women are great at many things, better than men in some cases, better than men at more important things in some cases. But generally speaking, comedy?
Women don't need to be funny. That for most men, if they can't make women laugh, they are out of the evolutionary contest. They are never going to get laid. Most men are fantastically unattractive. What women see in them is mysterious to most men as well as most women. If you can't make them laugh, you don't have a chance. With women, there's no need to be rendering yourself attractive to men in that way. We already find you attractive, thanks.
There are some good female football players, but saying women are as good at comedy as men is very much like saying women are as good at football. It's patently not true.
Okay, you saw that. Now, of course, some of you say, well, hey, comedians have bad days all the time. And I'm thinking, yeah. I mean, how can you forget that guy Richards from the Seinfeld show when he had a bit of a freak out in the middle of the comedy club and start yelling at his audience? It happens. But of course, anyone who's my age knows that sometimes it doesn't hurt to have banter with your audience. I mean, everyone remembers Don Rickles? I mean, that was his stock in trade. I mean, he was constantly making fun of everybody. And that's why they called him Mr. Warmth. Because, man, the guy, he would really, stick the knife in and twist it. I mean, no joke. If I remember long ago in an interview, Don Rickles said that one time he was really ragging on some a woman in his audience, and when the woman was lucky she started crying, he backed off because he thought he'd gone too far. But as you saw in Watson's video, what's going on with Miss Natalie? I think it's something a little bit more fundamental than just a heckler. Indeed, she reminds me a lot of Arthur Fleck. And you say, who? Let's just say, if you're familiar with Joaquin Phoenix's portrait in the Joker films, you know who I'm talking about. And you're saying, wait, what? Yeah. Because if you saw the Joker films, at least the first one, I can't really vouch about the second one because everyone said it blows. But anyway, everyone remembers that his character was an up-and-coming comedian. Problem is, he wasn't very good at it. And indeed, there's one scene in the Joker film where Arthur Fleck basically just bombs on stage. And then, of course, remember Robert De Niro's character was making fun of him on nationwide TV when he took a clip of his video of him bombing on stage and put it on blast. Yeah. Now, of course, some of you are saying, oh, that's going a little bit too far, comparing her to a murderous psychopath. Yeah. But the thing is, if you remember in the storyline, Arthur Fleck had issues. Lots of issues. No, mommy issues, daddy issues, etc., etc. Now, of course, I never met Miss Natalie, so therefore I can't psychoanalyze her and determine if she has the same issues that Arthur Fleck's character did. But it makes you wonder if this has happened to Miss Natalie more than once. Yeah. And I'm thinking the internet sleuths out there, and believe me, you know who you are, might dig up some information on Miss Natalie to find out if she has a habit of doing this. And if she does, curious. Now, of course, as you saw in old Watson's video, he started to rag on females in general, saying that females are not funny. Now I would take a step back from that, because anyone who's my age remembers Phyllis Diller, and Phyllis Diller was hilarious. I mean, the woman was totally self-effacing, and she was crazy and kooky and generally hilarious. And Madeline Kahn, she was equally hilarious and ridiculous. And Beth Midler, before she tried to become serious, remember that Beaches movie? Yeah. She was funny too. And how many people remember Gilda Radner? Oh, Gilda Radner was a hoot. with her Rosanna Dana routine on the old Saturday Night Live show. Yeah. I mean, if you watch some of those old clips from Saturday Night Live with Gilda Radner, yeah, you laugh out loud because she was funny. But does that mean that Miss Cuomo's in the same venue as those women were? I wouldn't go there. Now, of course, maybe she just had a bad day. Hey, it happens. But if more videos come out where she's basically practically screaming at her audience, curious. And at that point, you then wonder, what kind of issues does Miss Natalie have? And of course, some of you might say, well, maybe she's just not funny. And I'm thinking, because if you saw Watson's video, that's the reason why the tumult occurred. Because the heckler obviously stuck the knife in a little bit too deep when he said that she had no real material. And I'm thinking, because I remember someone a lot smarter than me long ago said, difference between tragedy and comedy is time. And I remember at the time when I heard that, I didn't quite understand what it meant. But then I remember, Dr. Strangelove. And then, of course, stories like Wag the Dog. And then I realized, oh, that's what it means. Because when you look at real-life tragedy, at the time it occurs, you say, wow, that's awful, that's terrible. But then as time moves forward and you look back on those events, then you say, that's not a tragedy, that's a joke. And of course, anyone who's remember with, say, for example, Hogan's Heroes, that old Bob Kane show, they know exactly what I mean. And you say Hogan's Heroes? Yeah, it was an old 60s show about a bunch of POWs in a German POW camp during World War II. And you say, that was a comedy? Yeah, and it was funny as hell. I mean, I didn't watch it religiously, but I watched it in reruns, and yeah, it was funny. Especially Sergeant Schultz, one of the token German who actually could speak halfway decent English. And he was constantly seeing Bob Kane and his crew doing all kinds of shenanigans inside the POW camp, and his refrain was, I've seen nothing, I know nothing. Because he didn't want to get in trouble with Colonel Klink, the commandant of the camp. Yeah, precisely. And that's basically what they mean by tragedy can become farce if you're given enough time. But in the case of Miss Natalie, will her tumult in time turn from tragedy to farce? Let's wait and see. And if Miss Natalie is actually watching this video, I think you should, do not what Arthur Fleck did and get mad. Instead, you should get better material. Well, that's all I gotta say about Miss Natalie bombing at in the comedy club sweepstakes. And that's my opinion.